The euro currency continues to hold the trend lower as it has for quite some time. We've seen this trend lower with a few modest upticks that have been quickly met with big selling, right now hovering right around 112. And if that doesn't hold, look for 111 to be the next kind of a quick level to look for support. But if we bust through that, I look for 107 to see where we stop the bleeding on the next move lower. So right now we've got a couple pockets in there. I think obviously some major events coming up, ECB, Brexit, as well as things that are happening here with our Fed. That could obviously help the ECB or help the euro currency a little bit. But ultimately the trend remains lower, and at this point doesn't see any sort of end coming, at least not from a technical perspective. It's going to take some fundamentals, I think, to move this market. And if you look at what the ECB, they're meeting this week on Thursday, and I think this is the beginning of the end for Mr. Draghi, who leaves office after the October meeting, will be replaced with Ms. Lagarde. But I think ultimately right now the ECB is going to be a little bit more dovish, or continue to be dovish. I don't know if they could be more dovish at this point, looking to add to their dovish policy ways, whether it's buying more bonds, whether it's buying equities, whether it's buying whatever, to keep things in line over there. Rates are going to have to remain low for longer. That is something that is not a surprise to anyone. If you just look at the euro currency over the last several months, it's been trending that way. Obviously, not much they can do at this point. They're near the zero bound rate, so they're going to continue to quantitatively ease, which doesn't help either. So right now, the ECB still remaining very dovish, the euro currency remaining very bearish amidst those the two coming together. And I think ultimately, if you look at one bright spot in the euro currency, it's going to be against the pound. If you look at the Brexit issue, the no deal seems to be kind of being steered that way. Now, while that's not good for either side, it's least bad, I think, for the euro currency, and you continue to see the euro currency outperform the pound. That has been trending. That looks almost like a euro currency dollar chart, the pound euro chart. Given the fact that that continues to go lower. So right now, if you're looking for a bright spot in the euro currency, it's got to be against the pound, but ultimately it's going to continue to trend lower against the dollar. The ECB is going to continue to look for easier policy ways. I don't see any way out of this, at least not this week with this week's ECB meeting. Likewise with the Fed next week. They could be more dovish. That could maybe give you a modest uptick. But ultimately, the economy's got to get its legs back under it over in Europe. And if that doesn't happen in the near term, then Ms. Lagarde is going to have her hands full when she takes over, not only with a struggling economy, but with a Brexit that has no deal. So looking at the ECB and looking at the euro currency together, a lot of work to be done there with some key events coming starting this week with ECB on Thursday.